We are live for the second leg of the Concacaf Champions Cup semifinals versus Vancouver Whitecaps and Inter Miami. Hope you guys are having a great night, and thank God that this game is a lot earlier than the last game. The last game was like 11 o'clock on the East Coast, which made it pretty difficult for many people to stay up and watch the match. Obviously, wasn't an ideal start for Inter Miami, down 2-0 on the aggregate. And they're in a bad spot tonight, which we'll talk about in a little bit. But I hope you all are doing well. Big game tonight. Big game today. Barcelona and Inter Milan. Huge game. Hope you guys were able to check that out too. If you haven't, you need to watch the highlights on that later. As you may know, I'm a huge Barca fan, so that was an incredible game. Wish we would have been able to get the win, but we'll see what they do in leg 2 of that series. But we're here for MLS tonight. We're here to see who will represent Major League Soccer in the Concacaf Champions Cup final. Let's see. Isaac says I was late. Yeah, just a little bit. You know, I'm always a little fashionably late. Roller says Mascherano is beyond fraud watch. It's not looking good. It is not looking good for Mascherano at this point. DJG says where to watch the game. It's on FS1. And then if you're not in the US, it's on the Concacaf Champions or the Concacaf YouTube page if you're not in the United States. Roller says, what's up, Will, though? How's it going, Roller? See what happens tonight. Big game tonight. Hey, we're going to get into these predictions and see what you guys think. But Inter Miami, man, they are trending in the wrong direction. Alberto Martinez says, how soon? How soon the game starts? The game starts in 7 minutes, supposedly. Anthony Booker says, let's go. I mean, let's go. And I'm excited, not hurry up and start the stream. No, you're good, man. I'm excited too. I'm excited to see what happens because Vancouver is a very good team, and they've proven themselves to be the best team in Major League Soccer through the first 10 weeks. And if they beat Miami, it just solidifies that. And I think they have a really good chance at winning the Champions Cup, regardless of if they play Cruz Azul or if they play Tigres. I think that Vancouver can beat either of those teams. Also, guys, make sure if you haven't already to like the stream down below. It helps with the algorithm. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We're trying to hit 10,000 subscribers by the end of the year. I know we're going to do it, especially with all the support you guys have shown the channel. So make sure you subscribe if you haven't already and hit the little bell notification so you never miss a video. Alberto says, what's taking your guys so long? Taking my guys long. What do you mean? Roller says Barca versus Inter game was cinema. That goal by Rafinha was incredible. I've never seen the ball hit the crossbar, go off the goalie's head, and then go in. And it really sucks because that was a beautiful goal, and it counts as an own goal. It doesn't actually count as a Rafinha goal, which is crazy. And what about Lamine Yamal? I mean, absolutely incredible. Isaac says, yeah, you said absolute cinema. Mr. says, hi, Will. Hopefully tonight is like Barca versus Inter. Well, if it is, Inter Miami's in trouble because let's get into that real quick too, because that's a interesting point, Mr. If Inter Miami concede a goal tonight, they are done. It's over. Wrap it up. Night's over. Call it early. We can all go to bed. Because if Inter Miami concede a goal, because CONCACAF still has the aggregate system away goals, if Inter Miami concede a goal tonight, they would have to score 4 goals unanswered to beat Vancouver. They'd have to score 4. That's just not going to happen. This team is they're struggling right now. They're not going to score 4 goals. Watch me eat my words on that. But I don't think they are. I'd be betting against it. Vancouver is not a team that's going to concede that many goals. If they score a goal, it's over. It is absolutely over for Inter Miami. Vancouver Whitecaps will advance to the Concacaf Champions Cup final, which I don't think many people would have seen that coming at first. I think it'll be 1-1 tonight. Yeah, I'm going to make a recap of this game regardless of what happens. But Miami's going to have to turn it up. Now, they did lose the game to who did they recently lose to? It was an embarrassing loss because they were up 3-1. Dallas. Yeah, they lost to Dallas. They're up 3-1 against Dallas and then can concede 3 unanswered goals. And that's just unacceptable. Now, they did have a bunch of guys sitting because they're preparing for this game. But, I mean, you can't concede 3 goals and lose when you're up 3-1. And you're just starting to see a lot of deficiencies in this team. And I just don't know if it's going to get any better without some reinforcements. And Javier Mascherano, like a lot of people point out, is on fraud watch. because he hasn't made adjustments like we had saw earlier in the season. He's not making subs early. He's just, I don't know. He's just not, he doesn't look that good right now. Let's see. 8 p.m. Eastern. Yes, Michael. The game starts at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 o'clock Pacific time for the Champions League or the Concacaf Champions Cup second leg. I'm Adam says, up the Caps. Bobby says, hello from Canada. Bobby, I'm assuming you're a Caps fan. Good luck tonight. Your team looks very good right now. I'd much rather be them than Inter Miami. Uwe says, Yamal is crazy good. Lamine Yamal, I get a lot of flack for saying this, but I've been on the side of Lamine Yamal is better than Messi at 17, like compared to Messi at 17. And a lot of people say, yeah, but Messi didn't play at 17. He didn't get it. He didn't get into the squad until he was like 19 or 20 for Barcelona, like becoming a regular. But I mean, that just shows how good Lamine Yamal is. And people say that Barcelona kind of changed their tune. Like you didn't really see a lot of kids that young breaking into the starting 11. But Lamine Yamal is just incredible. He's their best player. He's a top 5 player, top 3 player in the world at 17 years old. He's going to win several Ballon d'Ors. He's going to win probably a World Cup, if not 2 World Cups. And who knows, he might win the World Cup in 2026. Obviously, as a USMNT fan, I hope that doesn't happen. But he might win the World Cup next year at 18 years old. And if I'm not mistaken, you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but he would be the youngest player to win the World Cup since Pele, who won it at 18. It's like a primary player, right? Obviously, there's probably been younger players on the team, but as a primary player, if not the best player on the team, he would be the youngest player to do that since Pele in the World Cup. And I think it was like 1962 or maybe it was 1958. Yeah, I think it was 1958. So, because Mbappe was like 6 months until he was 20 when he went with France in 2018. So, Lamine Yamal is incredible. He saved Barcelona. He's the best player since Messi as a prospect, in my opinion. And I think he has the potential to even be better than Messi. And I know that hurts a lot of people's feelings and they get upset when you say that, but that's just a testament to how good he truly is. Roller says, honestly, totally irrelevant to this topic, but as a huge Barca fan since I was a little kid, if Lamine Yamal keeps this up and even does it until the final, give him the Ballon d'Or, man. Still love Rafinha, though. Yeah, Rafinha is incredible. I agree. They robbed Rafinha of possibly his goal of the season, not going to lie. It was a bit, yeah, I mean, that was crazy. The own goal, I mean, it hit the crossbar, and then hit the goalkeeper in the back of the head and went in, which was crazy. Uwe says, will there be a comeback? There could be a comeback, but it's going to depend on the guys who looked old in the first game. We talked about this. The Barca boys in game 1, Alba, Busquets, Suarez, Messi, they all look so old in the last game. They just look like they couldn't give this team anything. They just looked completely out of it. They had no explosiveness, they couldn't convert or create any chances in the final third. They just look washed. So if they play well, like they possibly can still do, then yes, of course they can make a comeback. But if Suarez looks like he did last game, which was ancient, this team is absolutely cooked. They're not doing anything. They are in big trouble if they can't convert some chances, create some chances with their Suarez, Messi, and Alba and Busquets, and Allende too. Guys, we have 37 people in here live. We're at 10 likes. Come on, let's get to 25 likes. I know we can do that easily. Smash the like button down below if you haven't already. And like I said, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We're trying to hit 10K. It's my personal mission for us to hit 10K this year, and I know that we're going to do that. So subscribe to the channel if you haven't already as well. We're going to get to more than 25 likes, but let's hit 25 likes for now. Game's about to kick off. We're like less than probably 10 minutes away. I think it's about 5 to 6 minutes until the kickoff of the second leg. Let's go ahead and get into some score predictions. What do you guys think the score is going to be for this Inter Miami Vancouver Whitecaps second leg? I want to see what you guys think, and then I'll give my prediction for what I think is going to happen tonight. Let's see. Roller says, make Vanny and Mascherano switch teams because it's just not looking good for either of them with both Miami and LA. Agree with that. Isaac says, Yamal is objectively the best teenage player we've ever seen. I 100% agree with that. Keyshawn says, Estavo is up next. Mr. says, thing is, when Messi broke into the team, there was Ronaldinho that took most of the shine. Yamal is amazing, though. Yeah, I mean, I understand that because he did pass the torch down to Messi, but for Yamal to take over this team, and Barcelona was in a bad spot, obviously, and just take the reins at 17 years old is incredible. They will be motivated. I'm assuming you're talking about Miami. Eric says off topic, but you should do YouTube shorts. Yeah, I'm trying to get more into YouTube shorts, like post some clips of maybe some goals or parts of episodes I do. I'm trying to get more into that. Derek Fenton says 2-0 Vega. Bobby says, what team do you support in MLS? I don't have an MLS team. I just cover the league. No MLS team for me. Alberto says he thinks it's going to be 2-2. Isaac says he thinks Miami wins 2-1. Of course, they wouldn't advance if that happened. Let's see. Rador says Miami 2, Vancouver 3. Mr. says, like I've said before, watching Messi trying to play balls in Suarez was painful. It's very painful to watch. And we are 5 minutes until the kickoff. Yeah, it is very painful to watch at this point. And another thing, too, is, Miami, even, I said that they have to score 4 goals if Vancouver ends up scoring a goal. They'd have to score 4 to win. If Miami can win this game 2-0, it goes into extra time. So if Miami can just score 2 goals without conceding, it'll be a draw and it will go into extra time and then PKs. If they, no one scores in extra time, obviously. So this still, look, this game is still obtainable or this series is still obtainable for Inter Miami. But it's not going to be easy, and they're going to have to play the best game they played all year. If you guys were watching the watch along for LAFC versus Inter Miami, that was a crazy game too. Miami was down 1-0 on aggregate, and then LAFC scored a goal at Miami. And then Miami had to score 3 goals to end up coming back. No, was it 2 goals? There was 1-1, and I'm trying to think what it was. They were at a deficit. They had to score like 2 or 3 goals unanswered in order to advance against LAFC. They were in a very bad spot because of how that game ended. Or how that game started, and Miami was able to come back and beat LAFC. So you can't ever count this team out, even when they look bad. But Vancouver is a very good team, very fun team to watch, very well coached with Jesper Sorensen. So you can't overlook how good they have played this season. And Brian White has been very, very good. There he is right there on the screen if you guys are watching along with the watch along. This is just a very, very good, scrappy, underrated, just good quality team. And they got a lot of depth, honestly, that people don't know about. And huge respect to Vancouver Whitecaps. Thought you were going to stream it here. No, we just watch together. We talk about the game as it's going on. I can't stream the game here. It's a copyright. I'd get flagged. My account would get struck down. I can't stream the game here. Cute Kenny says, I just hope Miami lose. There's a good chance. They're in a very bad spot right now. Roller says, remember, Miami don't need to score 3. They can win with 2-0 and drag on extra time. Exactly. Mr. says, yeah, but with Suarez up front, I don't see them scoring 2. Okay, so this is my prediction for this game. I think it's going to be 2-1. I think Miami's going to win this game 2-1, but they're not going to advance because obviously Vancouver will advance on aggregate with 1 goal. So I just don't think Miami's defense, even with Noah Allen started to show a little bit of some deficiencies, and so did Maxi Falcone last game. I just don't think that this defense they're just not scoring at a level that you'd have to with the goals that they're leaking. I just think they're in trouble. Messi's going to have the best game we've seen him have as a Miami player in a long time if they want to win this game. And I just don't know if that's going to happen. Jesus says, how long do you think Messi will last until he decides to retire? I think that he'll probably play the 2026 season, and then because he's going to play at the World Cup next year for Argentina, and then maybe 2027, maybe. He will definitely be there for the stadium opening. He's going to play for Inter Miami next year, but I don't know how much longer he wants to play. He's going to own this team after he retires. So this is going to be maybe his home for a long time. It'll be interesting to see how much longer Messi plays, honestly. He says, who's to blame if Miami gets eliminated? There's a lot of people to blame. Suarez has been very ineffective this year. He's been pretty bad as far as I think I'm a little bit behind. Okay, I'm a little bit behind. All right, we're good. I think that Suarez would definitely be someone that you need to blame. I think that Javier Mascherano would be someone you need to blame. There's a lot of people you would need to blame. And we're kicked off officially, by the way. All right, let's see if Miami can do it. See if they can come back or see if Vancouver will advance. Either way, we will know who will be representing Major League Soccer in the Concacaf Champions Cup final in 2025. And hopefully, whoever it is, either of these teams, they will win and help us try to get rid of the Liga MX way better than MLS stigma that there has been for a long, long time. Is this behind the Apple paywall? No, it's on FS1, Fox Sports 1, and it's on, if you're out of the country, it's on the CONCACAF YouTube page, if I'm not mistaken. We're at 17 likes. Let's try to get to 25, 43 people in the chat. Let's try to hit 25 likes. Only 8 away. Make sure you like the video down below if you haven't already. Matthew says, for the love of God, don't sell, please, Vancouver. Keyshawn says, Miami will be very aggressive. They have to be. They have to be. Now, here's the question. Suarez, with his bad knees, how much does he have left to give? What can he look like tonight? Because he just looked absolutely useless in the last match. And if he looks bad, honestly, in this game, I think Abande should get subbed in. He had a goal last week. It wasn't anything crazy, but, young, fresh legs. I think that they have to put him in maybe in the 50th or 60th minute. If Suarez looks really bad and he's not contributing anything. And another thing about Suarez, too, it's not just his running last week, which was bad, right? He just looked completely gassed and just wasn't looking dangerous at all. Looks like the pitch is a little wet, too, if you see the water skipping with the ball. He also just was passing the ball like too late behind his players, a second or two late, on through balls. He just looked he just did not look sharp at all in any way, shape, or form. Mr. Mister says, yeah, it's on the YouTube page here for the CONCACAF YouTube page. If you're outside of the United States or Canada, maybe too. I'm not sure where it's streamed out in Canada. Jay says, we're about to witness another Vancouver masterclass. Yeah. If I tell you what, if they win tonight, which there's a good chance they will, and if they win CONCACAF Champions Cup, I think we might have to crown a new best coach in Major League Soccer. Because even though Wilfried Nancy is incredible, very good coach, right? Jesper Sorensen taking a roster essentially the same as it was last year, and then having them winning CONCACAF Champions Cup in his first year would be crazy. That'd be a crazy feat to pull off if he was able to do that in his first year as the Whitecaps manager. And what's crazy is I don't know if you guys caught my video with Michael talking about the Whitecaps, Michael McCall. He said that Vancouver, when they hired Jesper Sorensen, he was like their fifth option or something like that, or fourth option for their manager. He wasn't even the highest person on their list. So they were able to hire a coach who they didn't even have that as a priority, and they're able to make it to the CONCACAF Champions Cup final in this first year. I mean, that would be really impressive. I mean, LA Galaxy haven't made to CONCACAF Champions Cup final in 20, 25 years. So many MLS teams haven't made it to CONCACAF Champions Cup final. And then the Whitecaps do it in the first year of a new manager would be crazy. Jay says, wonder who their other options were. I honestly don't know who their other. I think he mentions. I think he mentioned Giovanni Savarese was one of their higher priorities. The former Timbers manager, but I think it's for some reason it didn't work out, and they went with Jesper Sorensen, which credible. And see, that's another thing too. We talk about coaching in MLS and how important it is, and I talk about why it's bad. But you can see when you have a quality coach, the difference it makes with the same team. This Vancouver team is the same as it was last year, and their best players out. Ryan Geld is their best player, and they're the best team in the Western Conference, best team in MLS. One game away from being in the CONCACAF Champions Cup final. So you can just see what coaching does for a team. Coaching is so important in development, in-game decisions. Like, coaching is so valuable. A bad coach can really, hurt a team. And maybe Javier Mascherano is a bad coach. Maybe he's hurting his team. We will see. Denny Solana texted me and said that the stadium is rocking right now. He's at the game. I think Solana is going to stop by at some point during the game and give us an update on what he's seeing, what's going on. And I think Favi might stop by later. And then one of my buddies, Cheyenne from Rave Green TV, who is a Sounders fan, but he watches MLS. He knows what's going on. Well, he might swing by and comment on the game at some point as well. Gulf Coast Florida man of Gulf America says, I'm loading up my Fox Sports app right now. It's a big game. It's a big game. Bobby says MLS needs some top class managers to join the league. Do you ever see Jose Mourinho or someone of his quality coming to MLS? If I had to pick one guy who I think would be most likely to come to Major League Soccer that's a higher quality manager, it would be not Jose Mourinho, Pep Guardiola. I think Pep would probably be here. We'll get this. Here we go. We'll put this up. I think Pep would probably be the most likely to come to MLS of all the top managers in the world that you would consider a top class manager. I think he would. You don't consider Greg Berhalter top class. You don't his return to MLS. But yeah, I think Pep would probably be the most likely of all the top managers to come over here. Now, Ancelotti maybe would come over here. Maybe. I think he's got a place in Vancouver. He was never in consideration for the Vancouver job. He was never like on that list, but he obviously is a world-class coach. Looks like he's going to get fired soon at Madrid, or he's going to separate with them. So who never say never, but I think that he's probably, which my buddy Tack, Filippo Silva would be happy about this. It looks like he likely will be the next manager for Brazil, which that would be incredible. And maybe that will help them return to glory, which I don't think Brazil's won a World Cup since like 2002, if I'm not mistaken. I think it was 2002. A says, Mascherano not starting Ian Frey still blows my mind. There's some questionable things that he does. Are you surprised that Yannick Bright's not starting? Adam says, long way for Vancouver. That's another thing, too, you got to take in consideration. Vancouver had to fly like 3,000 miles. It is tough to play that far away. So we'll see if maybe that there's some jet lag. We'll see if any of this affects them, because I feel like a lot of their players they did play that game. At least part of. Oh, Jordi Alba scores. Jordi Alba scores for Inter Miami. They got their first goal. There you go. Jordi Alba. But this is a game. This is a game. So 2-1. Miami need one more goal to tie it up to go to extra time. There you go. See, this is a game. This is a game. Anything can happen. I do think, like I said earlier, that distance, that travel, I thought it was going to affect Miami in the first leg. I think it could affect Vancouver in the second leg. That was a good pass by Suarez, finally, right? That was a lucky goal for Alba. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, he shot right into Takioka's arms and it bounced off him into the goal. So that was lucky. But hey, sometimes all you need is luck. Inter Miami up or not up in this game 1-0. One more goal to tie it. That's important. Now the momentum is definitely in Miami's favor. Needs one more goal to tie it. So what Stu Holden's talking about right now. One more goal to tie it. I honestly hope that Miami can tie it. I don't care who wins this game, but I want to see an interesting game. Oh, Allende. I just want to see this game get interesting. I want to see a tie, see what happens. Let's get it. We don't want the night to end early. I said if Vancouver scores, the night will be over early. I just want to see a good game. Someone said in the chat that earlier about this might be a Barca versus Milan or an Inter like game. That'd be interesting to see if that happened. Mr. says, oh, see, Mr. says the Ancelotti Brazil thing has allegedly fallen apart. Looks like Ancelotti is going to Al Hilal, then Saudi for 50 million pounds a year, allegedly. I saw that it had fallen apart, but then I saw that it came back, like where talks had there they had reemerged as a candidate for Brazil, and that they had reignited talks with Brazil. I don't. Mr. You know how it is, man. The tabloids and everything, like all these deals, transfer wise, coach wise, it's always changing by the hour. Hell, if not by the minute, you just never know what's truly going to happen. But we'll see if he ends up. We'll see if he ends up coaching Brazil. Miami comes alive. A says. John Paul says, "Imagine Vancouver so scared, wasting time in the 10th minute." Yeah. I mean, they do have a lot of pressure on them. Vancouver does have pressure on them. It's not easy to win on the road. It's not easy to score on the road. That's why they still have this system where you get, the aggregate, the away goals matter more than the home goals, because it's not always easy to score on the road. Mr. says, I haven't seen anything since Al Hilal thing earlier. Yeah, this Tack, obviously I know you know Tack, Mr. But Tack had reported that it looked like maybe it was back on. So I don't know. I think it's kind of fluctuating by the hour. I mean, would you rather coach in Saudi, or would you rather add a World Cup trophy to your resume? Because if Carlo Ancelotti wins the World Cup in 2026 with Brazil, he's got to go down as the GOAT. He's got to go down as the GOAT. He's got the most Champions League wins of any coach. He'd have a World Cup added to his trophy case. I think he would personally pass up Pep officially if that happened. Vancouver need a goal. I don't know if they can hold Miami. If Miami can score, I don't know if anybody can hold them. It's just, can the old guys play well? And I do think that game off on Saturday helped Miami out. They got to rest. I think some of these guys were just absolutely. Oh, Brian White. Uh-oh. Oh, off the crossbar. So close by Sabi. Oh, man, if he had made that, this would have been Sabi. He off the crossbar. Falcone tripped over Brian White. This pitch has got to be slick, because he just fell down, and when the ball skips, it's got water behind it. Oh, man, if Sabi had made that, this game would be over. Pochettino is on fraud watch. I mean, there's a lot of coaches on fraud watch, to be honest with you. 2025 is fraud watch alert for all the managers. There's a lot of frauds out there. Mr. says, personally, I'd just rather go to Brazil. I agree, right? I mean, you go, how much more money does he really need? Plus, I mean, I would rather leave a legacy than money, right? I mean, he's got plenty of money. Uwe says, if Poch don't work, break Ancelotti in case of emergency. Yeah, I mean, that'd be nice. I'm a huge Ancelotti guy. God, dude, this pitch is crazy tonight. Like, did they just water it before the game? Did it rain in Miami? Is there any viewers that live in Miami-Dade County, or actually it's technically Broward County, it's in Fort Lauderdale? Did it rain heavy before this game started? I mean, the pitch is slick. Water's flying up everywhere. 53 people in the chat. Make sure you like the video down below. Let's try to get to 25 likes. We're only 4 away. Smash the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like I said, 10,000 subscribers is our goal. We're only like 30 away from 6,600, which is crazy. This channel is just exploding. Like, can't believe how much traction this channel's gotten. I appreciate all your guys' support. We have this game. We have the Concacaf Champions Cup final that will be in a month from now. We have the Club World Cup this summer. We have so much stuff coming up, and you're not going to want to miss any of it. So make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit the little bell notification so you never miss a video. We hit 25 likes. Now our next goal is to hit 30. We've got to hit 30. Let's see. Jay says, and if they score 1, the Miami needs 3. Exactly. So they would really put a lot of pressure on them if they score. Mr. says should have scored. He should have finished that. Keyshawn says Pot's been a fraud. Brian White. Oh, good save by Ustari. Good look by Brian White. Ed says it did not rain. Okay, why is the pitch so wet then? They must have. I mean, what's up with the pitch being so wet right now? Eric says U.S. Soccer Federation has the money for Ancelotti. I mean, they have the money for a lot of people, right? That's why they got Pochettino. As someone not from Miami-Dade County, I cannot confirm if. Bobby says, how much longer do Alba and Busquets have on their contract? I want to say that Alba is out of contract after this year, which is a reason why he could be bought down and they could bring a designated player in the summer. Now, Busquets, I think, has a club option, or maybe his contract's out after this year. But it's going to be interesting to see. I think that Suarez, Messi, Alba, and Busquets all are out of contract after the 2025 season. And it's going to be interesting to see who they bring back and at what price. Because if it were me, that was a bad attempt by Cello. Uh-oh. Ooh. Miami's defense is very vulnerable. But if it were me, I wouldn't bring back Busquets because he's making $10 million a year. I would probably bring back Alba if he's willing to sign for a cheap deal again for like 1.5 mil. And Suarez could play for free, and I wouldn't want him on the team anymore because he is just absolutely washed at this point. He can barely play a game right now. He's not going to be able to make it in 2026. I mean, he's 38 years old. Let's be honest. I mean, what he did last year was very impressive considering his age. Did they get local fire department to spray the pitch before? I have no idea what happened. I mean, the pitch is just so. I mean, the ball when it hits the ground, there's just so much water flicking behind it. Eric says streaming software. I'm just using StreamYard. Golf says I may go to Miami for Real Madrid versus Al Hilal in June. That'd be cool, man. I might try to go to. Oh, huge whiff on Messi there. Had a golden opportunity on a platter. Let's see what happens. Oh, it might be a PK. Let's see. They said it might have went off the arm of Veselinovic. Oh. Let's see. Let's see. They're not. I don't think they're reviewing it yet. Josh says, who do you got winning MLS Cup? Oh man, it's just so early. It's hard to even tell. But I mean, two teams that I think are looking really good right now is Vancouver and FC Cincinnati. I can tell you who's not going to win MLS Cup. It's not going to be Atlanta United. Huge disappointment, by the way. I'm not going to be an I told you so guy, but Emmanuel Latte-Lot has not been worth. It's not been worth the $30 million they paid for him. Crazy to think that they paid that much for a guy who's not even. I don't even know if he's top 5 in the Golden Boot race right now for Atlanta United. Ace says, I want to see Poch with Pepe or Balogun, not with White. Yeah, I don't. Has he even coached them yet? I think maybe Pepe one game, but I don't think Ballo's been hurt. I don't think that he's coached Ballo yet. So yeah, I agree with that. We need to see what the strikers look, but there's been some very concerning things as far as the USMNT thus far. Oh, it's close. Miami's threatening. Hey, Miami's threatening. If you're a Miami fan, this is what you would want to see. Vancouver's definitely looking a little shaky early on. Eric says Galaxy not winning it. Galaxy are an absolute mess right now. I don't know what who knows what they're going to end up being by the end of the season. Who knows if Greg Vanney's even the coach by the end of the season. Jay says, I don't want to count out Charlotte either. Yeah. Oh, okay. I guess they're not going to review the handball by Veselinovic. They're not going to review that, see if it hit his hand. But it looks like that one of the refs called a foul, and they're reviewing if it wasn't actually a foul. Yeah, Charlotte's good. Pep Biel's obviously been really good. I just kind of have some concerns about their striker. I don't think Patrick Agyemang is good enough for them to win an MLS Cup. Yeah, I think that was Cello probably fouled him. I'd say it probably was a foul by Cello. Tom says, would you like Suarez as a super sub? At this point, maybe. I mean, for the rest of this season, yes. But like next year, probably not. I think it's time to move off of him. I mean, 39-year-old striker next year would be crazy. Adam says, Vancouver, they cannot handle the pressure for 90 minutes. Look, guys, I'm telling you, I think that when you play on the road and you have to travel 3,000 miles, what other league in the world do you travel 3,000 miles to play your opponent? That's a long distance, even if you're flying first class. That is a long distance to travel for a game. especially because they just played a game on Saturday, the Whitecaps. I do think that and then the fatigue, the age of Miami, that's why they really struggled in that first game. I believe that was a deciding factor. Who scored that? Was that Alba? Mr. Mister says you laugh, but I live near a League Two team that had to play a Premier League team in the FA Cup. They got the local fire department to spray the pitch to bog down the Premier League. Hey, I mean, I guess whatever competitive advantage you can do within the guidelines, I mean, I would probably do it too. Oh, Suarez. Oh, yeah. A says ref blowing the play dead. Adam says they got a long way to go. No Name says LAFC has been the most constant team since 2020. Consistent team since 2020, LAFC. Let me think about that for a minute. I mean, off the top of my head, I think it's hard to disagree with that. I guess that would be true. They are the most consistent team since 2020. But they're not very consistent this year. They look pretty bad this year, honestly. Let's see. Josh says, who do you think is winning, Sporting Kansas City or LA Galaxy? Let's see what the Miami does real quick. Oh, whiff by over the ball, over the crossbar by Redondo. Good from 40-yard field goal. Josh, I don't know. Honestly, I think probably Sporting Kansas City because the Galaxy are just so broken right now. You know, I made a video about the Galaxy recently talking about their struggles on who to blame. I'm a lot of people say it's unfair or unjust, but I think if they don't win a game in the next couple weeks, you have to look to fire Greg Vanney because at a certain point, regardless if it's his fault or not, you need a new voice in that locker room. And they have too much talent to not be able to win one game. Being winless in Major League Soccer in 10 games is crazy considering you're the defending champs and the league promotes parity. It's absolutely insane to be winless in 10 games. It's insane. Mr. says Hanny will probably be Vanny. Okay, Vanny will be gotcha. Vanny will probably be fired. Only manager I've seen survive a run like that is Pep Guardiola. And as you know, and I know, he is definitely no Pep Guardiola. So yeah, he probably, I mean, everybody has a breaking point, right? Regardless of what the circumstances are. Tom Wicken says Vancouver will score at least one. Maxi Falcone gets a yellow card. I wonder if this is not good for Miami because, you know, he's going to have to play less aggressive or he might get, you know, his second yellow and be down a man. Might have to sub him out in the second half. Jay says Vancouver just need that one goal. That's all they need to change the game. If they get the one goal, Miami's in trouble. But to be fair, all Miami needs now is one goal and it changes the game. Let's see. Adam says true. Bobby says, how often do you watch alongs and do you do them for MLS games? I do them for big MLS games. Like if there's a huge matchup between two big teams, like I did one for the Crew in Miami because they're both undefeated and one of them was going to be likely to not be undefeated after that game. I do watch alongs for a lot of the Champions Cup games. Last year I started this MLS Decision Day stream where I do one for the Eastern Conference and Western Conference where we check all the games. I'll do some of the playoffs too. I definitely do MLS Cup and some of the playoff games as well. They're fun to do, to see what happens and watch them with other people. Jay says LAFC have been consistent, but this is their weakest year by far. Well, to be fair, they did miss the playoffs in 2021. So I would say probably the most consistent team in MLS in the last since 2020 might be the Crew because they've won the most MLS Cups in the last 5 years. They won in 2020 and they won in 2023. So I would say maybe the Crew has been the most consistent team in the last 5 years. Kenny says, as an LA Galaxy fan, I say Sporting Kansas City will win. Kenny, listen, if the Galaxy lose to the Sporting Kansas City, I think you got to let Manny go. I said you got to give him more time. Now, if you're getting draws, then you give them some more time. But if you're just outright losing to bad teams, it's time to pull the plug, man. You got to pull the plug on them. No Name says MLS team like LAFC, New York City FC, and Miami could be so overpowered in Concacaf if the salary cap wasn't a thing. They could. They could. If MLS didn't have a salary cap, imagine how much better these top teams would be. They'd be up there with some of the biggest clubs in the world. Most people agree that if Miami had no salary cap restrictions with the appeal that they have, they would probably be a top 25 team in the world. Imagine if you took, the Saudi league obviously has to overspend because nobody wants to live there without the money, right? But imagine if MLS had Saudi level spending with the appeal of living in the US or Miami or LA or New York. Imagine what kind of players they'd be able to attract. 66 people watching live. Guys, make sure you like the stream down below if you haven't already. We're at 33 likes. Let's try to hit 50. I think we can hit 50 before halftime. We got 20 minutes. This has been a good game so far. Can Miami make the comeback? We will see. So make sure you like the video down below. Let's get to 50 likes and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Who would have passed to Messi? Dude, what is Redondo doing? Adam says rivalry week around the corner. That might be an interesting one to do. Josh Gibson says LAFC and LA Galaxy have been seriously underperforming. Maybe not as much as LAFC, but the Galaxy for sure. Yes, definitely have been. Both LA teams have been bad. The best team in California this year has been San Diego FC by far. Matthew says LA Galaxy should move to USL. I never watch MLS again. I'm assuming you're a Galaxy fan. Jesus says thoughts of LAFC versus Club America. Should Leon's participation is denied? I think it is denied already. I don't know. I think it's a little weird that LAFC is in there. I think it should be more about your it's like international success is why you would decide that. Now LAFC were the runners up like 2 years ago, but how did Miami get into the tournament? They said it's because they won Leagues Cup. So if we're going off of that, I think that Columbus Crew should be the team playing Club America because they won the Leagues Cup in 2024. Ooh, man, he kicked. It looks like Brian White. No, it wasn't Brian White. I don't think that was a foul by Suarez, but I don't know. I think that's a little soft. Jay says, like Galaxy to USL, they just won last season. Tom says, Whitecaps might have just saved their franchise with the hype they have around the city. It's never been higher in our history. Tom, it's incredible to see. And I'm really hoping you guys are able to get a local buyer who can give this team all the resources that they need to be as successful as they possibly can be. And when I was talking to Michael about everything that's happened with this city and this team, it's truly incredible. So I'm very happy for the Whitecaps fans. This great season could not have came at a better time for you guys. And even if you were to lose this game, what has happened this year has been absolutely incredible, and all the expectations you guys have surpassed, and everything that you guys have exceeded expectations exponentially. A says BJ Callahan smacking Berhalter was so satisfying. I think that proves who is actually the better coach. See what Miami can do here. Matthew says, I feel like USL will be more fun to watch in like 4 years. If the USL can implement their promotion relegation effectively, it could be interesting to see how that whole thing pans out. Because they're just going to have more teams throughout all their leagues. Oh, it looks like Jordi Alba's getting chippy. Adam says Florida, New York, and Ohio. Oh, LA, Florida, New York and Ohio derbies. That always some interesting headlines and stories that come out of those games. Mr. says thing with Saudi is their fund is 700 billion. They can pay players more money than God. I mean, yeah, they have unlimited money, right? Obviously, the oil money is crazy. But we have the lifestyle appeal. So if we could have a little bit more money with the lifestyle appeal, I mean, it'd be a no-brainer. Jesus says supporter shield, maybe. Are you talking about for the for the Club World Cup? Maybe, but that's Miami. They won the supporter shield. Are you asking if I think Vancouver can win the supporter shield? No Name says the reason why LAFC. Oh, good stop by Falcone. No Name says the reason why LAFC is the chosen one for the game versus Club America is because they lost to Club Leon. Yeah, no, I understand that, but it's just like, I don't know. How did they choose Club America? Is that who Club Leon beat in the semifinals of their game? Is that who they beat to make it to the Concacaf Champions Cup final? Matthew Dominguez says, I want to love MLS, but the league doesn't want me to. I understand there's concerns about MLS. There's a lot of things you can criticize, but you just kind of have to know what MLS is. I don't want to say accept it. Like, you don't have to accept anything. You get less frustrated if you truly understand what this league is and don't think about what it could be, because the people running the league are just too slow. They're way too slow on getting this where it could be. It'll drive you crazy if you just focus on like how much better the league could be. I mean, trust me. I mean, it's got unlimited potential. Oh, that was definitely a foul. Damn. Yeah, it's got to be. He pulled his arm down on Allende. Johnson did. Eric says, an American Premier League. That could happen if they loosen the purse strings. Josh says, who do you think is the worst MLS team currently? I mean, I think it's got to be Montreal. Montreal might be the worst team I've ever seen. They're also winless in 10. Their ownership group doesn't care. Now, the Galaxy are bad. We all know that, right? The Galaxy are terrible, but the Galaxy at least have talent on their team. The Vancouver have nothing. Vancouver is just absolutely terrible. So we'll see. We'll see how they finish this season, but I wouldn't be surprised if Montreal win only 2 games this year. I think they might legitimately only win 2 games this year. Kenny says, I want both Chivas USA and Club America to lose because I hate both of them. Well, if that was only possible, right? Nino says, Viva Vancouver, ho, go, go. We'll see what happens. Vancouver in the driver's seat right now. Very, very entertaining, exciting team in 2025. Fun story to watch. Man, I really wish that Ryan Reynolds could be part of the ownership group to buy this team, because I think that he's really good at marketing. Very good at marketing. I mean, look what he's done with everything he touches, it goes to gold. And if he could get the same excitement with this performance that he's got for Wrexham, with this hype and this what they've built in Vancouver this year, imagine how crazy it could be. Matthew says we sold half the roster. Yeah. Are you talking about the Galaxy? God, Suarez is just so slow. Ace says Cello provides nothing going forward. Yeah, he's too erratic. He's not a good crosser. He's a shaky defender. Yeah, I'm not impressed. Matthew says I missed the 2000s. So you talking about the Galaxy? Johnson is 13 years. I mean, he doesn't look like a professional soccer player. Tom says, I don't like when all the stars are missing because of international duty. Are you talking about in just in general for the league? I agree. It's why I'm a big proponent of the schedule change, but people get mad at me when I talk about it. Down with Chivas USA for sure. I love the rivalry. El Tráfico is crazy. Best rivalry in MLS. I love the hatred, the genuine hatred for each fan base has for each other. No Name says, I think the reason why Club America was chosen is because they're the highest ranked team in Concacaf and won Liga MX many times recently. And because Liga MX won the spot because Leon won. Yeah, I think so. But I think maybe they might have been the team that got eliminated by Leon to make it to the final, which would mean they were the runner up. Mr. says Montreal are awful right now. They're the worst team I've ever seen in MLS. Like they are so bad. They are so bad. I mean, Infantino used Miami's supporter shield as a reason for their Club World Cup entry. Yeah, it's kind of weird when you think about it. I thought it was the oh. Bobby says Montreal and TFC are 1-1 currently in the Canada Cup. I'm not gonna lie to you, I honestly forgot that game was on. God, that was such a bad cross from Cello. Mr. says Wrexham got promoted again last week. And yeah, this is like their third year in a row. They're in the championship. I do think they're going to struggle more. I think they are going to struggle to get promoted to the Premier League. I think that could be a 2-year project. So we'll see what happens. But their story is very impressive. And I think they're trying to build a stadium because it's in Wales, right? I think they're trying to build a new stadium because their current stadium only holds like 6,000 people. I think that's what the capacity is. I think they're trying to get the investment funds to build a bigger venue for them. Pachuca beat Club America in the semifinals. Yeah, I'm talking about in 2023 when LAFC lost to Leon in the Champion Cup final. I think that Leon had beaten. I think Leon had beaten Club America to get to the Champions League final. Matthew says definitely talking about the Galaxy. Montreal needs Jalen Neal. Yeah, Jalen Neal. It's sad Jalen Neal didn't work out with the Galaxy. Seattle versus Portland might be better. It was at one time, but both teams have been down bad for a little bit, so it's really killed momentum with that rivalry. I think that the Galaxy and LAFC are. I think they got the best rivalry. It's incredible. Let's see. Tom says, yeah, if MLS in generally has missing international players all the time, and you wonder if it's even at leagues sometimes, and then they have Leagues Cup too. Yeah, they got a lot going on, and they got it very condensed, and the depth isn't good enough to replace some of these good players. So the quality can dip. Like this past summer, key players were missing like 8 games because of Copa America and Euros. There was key players like Suarez and Messi missed 8 regular season games. That's crazy. That's almost 1/4 of your season. Club America be cheating to the win finals. Yeah, Club America. Can't believe they lost last round. Infantino chose the Community Shield winner because of course Messi, but also to give the middle finger towards playoffs and giving the message that the regular season win is more valuable. Yeah, but the only thing about it is I thought it was more about international performance. What you do against other. That's what it's a Club World Cup is based on the region you play in and what you've done in it. So I thought more. Oh, that was a good tackle. It was a really good tackle. Suarez is so slow. Campo just fouled him. Was it a foul? Oh, it's a free kick. So it is a foul. Okay. Matthew says, how tragic would it have been if MLS did the right thing last year and sent the winner of the MLS Cup to the Concacaf Champions instead of Miami? Just have them gut the roster and play with this squad. Just have them gut the roster. Yeah. Well, I mean, they're going to make some moves before the Club World Cup starts, so we'll see what happens and what they do. See if Messi can convert this free kick. When's the last time Messi scored a free kick? It's been a while, right? I don't even know if he scored a free kick last year. Is he going to go for it or is he going to cross? Oh, Yeah, I think this will be their hardest promotion to get. Championship to Premier League, they'll need a lot of money. Yeah, I think it's going to take them probably 2 years minimum, maybe even 3 years to really build the roster up. I would honestly consider it, Mister, if they don't get relegated next year, to be a huge success. I think that would be a huge win if they don't get relegated back to League One after their first year in the championship. Anthony P says MLS playoffs are way too long. Well, it's because the 2 week break. It should only be 4 weeks, but they stretched out to like 6 or 7 weeks because of the international duty, which is stupid, and the 3-game series, which is dumb. Edgar says America got chosen because they were top. Yeah, yeah. That's fine. I think that, LAFC probably shouldn't be the team. Kyle Hicks says TFC up 2-1 over Montreal. Imagine playing Winters in Toronto. It'll be dangerous for players and fans. They would take a winter break. I mean, they wouldn't play in January. So, and plus you could play on the road. You play on the road in the first couple weeks of the colder months. Yeah, but the USA is the host, and one local team always has to qualify, and that was what they want, the champion to qualify. Talking about Miami. Yeah. We'll see what they can do. If they play like they've played lately, they're in trouble. Kenny says MLS teams need to start winning CONCACAF finals. They do. And I feel good about both these teams being able to do that if the game's not Mexico, right? Because Mexico's obviously, we saw what happened to the Crew last year against Pachuca. Oh, my God. Ooh. That was a nice play by Ustari. Ace says that's a yellow for Ocampo. I agree with that. Mr. says he agrees. I'm assuming with the promotion to Wrexham, if they can just avoid relegation, it'd be a huge success. Pulso Sports says best rivalry. It's not about the hottest team. It's about the origin, history, and true competition between two teams. Saying LA Galaxy and LAFC is a better rivalry is sacrilegious and in so many ways to MLS, my guy. Nico, I'm assuming it's you. I agree that Seattle and Portland is the best rivalry historically, but just lately it just hasn't had the juice because both teams haven't been playing to the level we've seen them before. Historically, yes, best rivalry, Portland Timbers, Seattle Sounders, but the last 5 years, 100% it's been LA Galaxy and LAFC. The intensity in that game, the competition in that game, the quality of that game, top to bottom, I think is the most enjoyable one to watch. That's just my personal preference. Agree to disagree. Bobby says, I think he scored a free kick versus Columbus last year. Maybe he did. It's been a while, though. Obviously, he's a free kick specialist. It's been a while since he scored one. I obviously think of the one against Cruz Azul in the Leagues Cup in 2023. Jesus says, thoughts on Leagues Cup so far? Thoughts on it in general as a tournament? I mean, it's okay. I mean, I'm kind of burnt out on it a little bit, to be honest with you. I kind of want to see something new, personally. I think that it's a cool concept. It just kind of is a little bit overplayed at this point. Guys, we're at 38 likes. We're 12 away from 50. Let's try to hit 50. Oh, Allende close there. Only 12 likes from 50. Smash the like button if you haven't already. Share with a friend. Let's grow the audience as much as we can. We're so close to 50 likes. Let's see if we can get there before halftime. We got a minute plus added time. Matthew responds to Pulso Sports, says LA Galaxy and Chivas USA is more hate than rivalry. 6-1. Yeah, talking about the championships. Ace says Ustari, that was a nice play by him earlier. Josh says, do you think the Galaxy can turn around this season? I mean, probably not. Probably not, just because they just have so much going against them. And Puig, obviously, I don't know when he's going to be back and how. If they had like 2 or 3 wins right now, maybe, but they only have 3 points in 10 games. 3 points. It's going to be really hard to climb out of that hole if they don't start winning some games. It's going to be really hard. Pachuca beat the Crew because they hate the color yellow because of Club America. So that's like what fueled them for that game. That's what got them going. Eric says, does USL play international? I don't think so. So that was a. Hey, by the way, Sebastian Berhalter has been playing really, really well for Vancouver this season. Very, very well for Vancouver this season. That was a foul by Redondo. That was a stupid foul. Matthew says, my biggest issue with the league is that they make everything feel so manufactured, from the new franchises, names loan football club, really, to the new tournaments and these roster rules. I mean, they do a lot of they Americanize it a lot. They're not really about the tradition. They try to do that. They have their own spin on soccer and how they want to implement it. So I agree with that. It's a little different. Bobby says, I think Miami were better last year. Players like Campana, Rojas, and Taylor are underrated and help get the ball to Messi and finish off the chances he was creating. Hey, you got to throw in another guy in there. Another guy in there who was sold for a big fee, Diego Gomez. Diego Gomez was very good last year. Diego Gomez got a $15 million move to Brighton because of how well he played. So Rojas is a huge miss. Campana, good depth for Suarez, obviously. Taylor, Taylor's, but Rojas, Campana, and Diego Gomez are definitely missed. Definitely. Will, is your hair blonde or red? It's orange. Somewhere in the middle, I guess, right? No Name says, I personally think that the League's Cup should be abolished. It's just another unnecessary competition. The League, the Cup, U.S. Open Cup, and Concacaf are enough, and there shouldn't be more continental. Yeah, they do it. Obviously, they want some more inventory for Apple TV. That's why this was implemented, just so they could sell to Apple TV a tournament that they would have the rights to. So that's the reason why they implemented it. Let's see. Josh says, I mean, Sporting Kansas City did it in 2023, winless in 10, same record, and they made a run. Yeah, but it just feels like the Galaxy are more broken. I think that when you win an MLS Cup and then you lose 10 games, or you're winless in 10 games, it can really, really, really break your spirits. Like, it just kind of makes you feel lost to go from that high to that low. Tom says they would be like a top 4 if Puig had been healthy because they would have built around him. I mean, losing Puig is huge, but like I've said numerous times, they had enough talent to where they should have been able to at least win 2 or 3 games outside of not having him. They should have won 2 or 3 games this year easily. Jay says, damn, Berhalter won't play in a final if they advance. Oh, because he's yellow card accumulation? Damn, that does suck. Because he's, like I just said, he's been playing very well. Bishnu says, Canadian team are always great. Yeah, I mean, this would be if it's kind of crazy if Vancouver win this game, they would be the all three Canadian MLS teams would have been in a Concacaf Champions Cup final in the last 10 years. Montreal in 2015, Toronto in 2018, and then Vancouver in 2025, which is kind of crazy to think about. Matthew says, does Vancouver end it here? Probably not. I mean, obviously not the first half. It's 1-0 in the first half. Miami played a pretty good half. They looked a little tired towards the end, though. Are they going to be able to have that same energy in the second half to get that much needed second goal and prevent Vancouver from scoring to take this game into extra time? We will see. That was a very good first half, in my opinion. Much better than the last game. Last game was terrible for Miami, that is. Berhalter has R7-esque work ethic. He leads by example. Yeah, he's been really good this year. Can't disagree with that. Jesus says, I hope MLS and Liga MX can play Libertadores one day, at least 2 teams each. I like the 2000s, early 2010s nostalgia. Just saying to make things interesting again and for teams to get them motivated. Yeah, I mean, it'd be cool to have MLS teams, Liga MX teams, make some new Champions League with some South American teams. I think it'd be beneficial for both continents. Bobby says Taylor was average most games, but at least he had pace and was capable of scoring a crazy goal. Thing about Robert Taylor, though, is I feel like he hasn't really been good since 2023. Like, I feel like after the Leagues Cup hype, he really tapered down. He really wasn't as good of a player after that. So that's just my opinion on it. I guess he's maybe give you something off the bench. He obviously has some pace, but Will, do you know which owners are the biggest proponents of the salary cap? Yeah, just all the cheap owners. Kroenke, Robert Kraft. I'm trying to think of who else off the top of my head. There's a lot of probably well, Houston's got new ownership, but they're not as against it. There was a list of teams. Now I know who definitely wants to change, like Jorge Mas. The City Football Group want to change it. There's a lot of teams that want to spend more money, but Don Garber's advised them against it. He says you don't need to spend more money. Everything's good the way it is. So the NFL got, yeah, exactly. Jay says, I thought Montreal had it for a second versus Club America. Yeah, in 2015. But the problem with Montreal was their goalkeeper got hurt. And they were talking about, could they loan an MLS goalkeeper to them so they could help them win? And I remember Sean Johnson was a proposal, but then they got a lot of flack for that because MLS is technically one team because it's a single entity. So you could loan a team to another team if you wanted to, but that would just been cheesing it. So that's why they didn't do that. Mr. says, bring Suarez off. You got to bring him off. He's giving you nothing. Bring a Bondo on here. Get someone who can run at the end. Maybe give you something in the final third. I mean, now Suarez didn't play as bad in the first half because he technically did have the assist to Alba. But you could just see that towards the end of the game, he was really starting to fall off there. Or at the end of the first half, excuse me. He was really starting to fall off there. Kenny says, I think even Ricky returns, it won't be much help until next year. I think Greg's got to go, honestly, but we'll just see what happens. We'll see if we get there. Tom says, where do you think the Galaxy would be right now had Puig never gotten injured? Well, what's his name? Matthias Nescamento, I think, is the Brazilian U22. He sucks. He's too injured. He didn't play. He's not good when he plays. If they had gotten a good U22 striker and Puig was playing, they probably would be between 1 and 4, but that didn't happen. So we got my buddy Fabian Rankel in here to give us some words of wisdom in the first half. Fabi, what's going on, man?
Hey, what's up, guys? How's it going?
We're good, but hey, we're doing better now. But hey, we need that extra juice from you, man. We're 10 likes from 50, bro.
Wait, no way. We're that close?
We're that close.
Oh, shoot. All right, guys.
We need your magic.
Make sure you like it up. Like it for Will's pretty blue eyes, all right? Hey, yo.
Whoa. So what'd you think, man? What'd you think about this first half?
Honestly, a little bit of a boring half.
Really?
I mean, I guess I know the second half is going to be a lot better. So I was kind of like snoozing away at the end of the first half. But no, I mean, Miami's come out better. I think the first time that they actually try something different, it works. and Jordi Alba gets out wide. Suarez gets an assist, and Messi's nowhere to be found. And that kind of switched up Vancouver's defense, and it kind of messed them up a little bit. So, yeah, I thought that was a good idea. That was a good way to attack. Finally, Jordi Alba doesn't go for a cross. He goes for a shot, and they got a goal. But they're going to need more of that. They're going to need more goals for sure, because Vancouver looks like they're going to get one. So
no, I think that it looks like that's going to happen. But if you look at it, they really were going for it. Miami, they put all their eggs in the attacking basket. They were very aggressive. They were pressing. They were trying to get that goal. They got the goal, like you said, by Jordi Alba. Now a little bit of a lucky goal, right? I mean, he got the deflection off of Takioka to score the goal. But towards the end of that half, Fabi, you could see that they started getting a little tired. They'd given all that energy in the first 30 minutes. So I just think if they keep the same 11, man, they're not going to be able to do it. They're not going to be able to get across that finish line. Like you just said, the defense is already showing signs of breaking and giving a goal to Vancouver, which if they do, then Miami would have to score 3 goals to win this game. So would you, first of all, your boy Suarez looked pretty decent in the beginning. He's starting to slow up. Those knees are looking like cantaloupes right now. Would you take him off in the second half?
No. If anybody I'm taking off is Falcone. I mean, he has a yellow already. I don't want him to get a red. I mean, you bought an $8 million defender, Toto Aviles, and he's nowhere to be found. Put him in the game. This is a moment where he needs to shine. This is a moment where they need to put a defender that can do a little better on Brian Wright. I don't think Falcone's done a good job. I mean, if anything, Brian White has had opportunities to score, or at least the people around him, and he's on a yellow. Yeah, I would switch up Toto Avila's in this lineup instantly. I mean, yeah, I can't take a red card if I'm Miami. That's 100% sure. Like, and Falcone's been hesitant ever since he's got that yellow card. So I need them to be high pressing, and they have to be on the same page.
Who do you think was the best player for both teams in the first half?
Yeah, look, for Vancouver, I mean, Ahmed has really shocked me with his speed today. I mean, yeah, we all knew he was a fast player, but man, like he's pressing back, he's tracking back, getting onto Messi's kind of ball. So that means a lot when you have a player that's on offense, tracking all the way back, and pressing Messi, especially when the defenders need help. And that's been shocking. So I want to say Ahmed's been a great player so far for Vancouver. Brian White has added a little bit of flair to his game. I mean, that little back heel pass he had in the box was nice. But for Miami, I want to say Jordi Alba is probably having the best game possible. I don't see anything from Messi so far. He whiffed, which is something you don't see often, especially in a game that's do or die for them. Suarez is having a good game too, but he's had another opportunity, and unfortunately he whiffed at that. So I don't know. I think for me, Jordi Alba's, he scored the goal, so I think he's been playing well. Who hasn't been playing well is,
I was going to ask you who's been the worst player on the pitch.
Yeah, Redondo. I mean, Redondo has been really bad with passes. Falcone has been bad too for Miami, and then for Vancouver, it looks like they're really trying to overload the box for the young player. I think it's Johnson, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, everybody's saying he look like he's 14.
Yeah,
13.
Yeah, they're really trying to see if he's not really experienced in these big moments, and it looks like so far that's the case. He has a yellow card, and it looks like now he's having trouble there on that side.
Yeah, I think Cello's looked really bad.
Yeah,
he looked really bad. His crosses have been just there's no chances in his crosses at all. Like they're getting headed out of the way immediately. His defending's been poor. It's so funny. It's like, Alba's obviously a good attacker. He's good. He's a pretty good defender. Not as good as he once was, obviously, but it's like Cello is literally like the off-brand version of Jordi Alba, like the worst, like not just the off-brand, the expired off-brand that's been behind the shelf that someone forgot was there, or under the shelf at the store. And he's a liability. And like you said, Maxi Falcone's on that side playing next to him. He's already got a yellow card. Maxi Falcone's a very aggressive defender. He's going to have to play more conservative if he's in the game, which we know that's probably not going to happen. So I agree with you. Toto Alvarez definitely needs to be subbed in the second half. So how do you feel so far? Do you think Miami can do it? I mean, they've held them off so far. You said that you thought Vancouver might score, but do you think that Miami has a chance?
I think Miami needs to score 3 and end this in regulation, because if Vancouver gets on the board, this looks like too tall of a task, in my opinion. And what's crazy about Vancouver is they're three passes away from a shot on goal. So that's like, they're so fast, they're so clinical, and they're so precise with getting very, very deep in Inter Miami's third very quickly. This game could get out of hand in a heartbeat, right? So Miami needs to score goals, and they need to do it quick, in my opinion. I think they can't wait as like this super late goal that comes in the 90th minute and then they go to extra time, because during extra time, with the guys being as old as they are, I'm going to take Vancouver. So I think the guys need to go ahead and do this in regulation, and they need to score goals quickly. They need a quick goal in the beginning of the second half, and then you can leave the last goal for at the end if you want. But I don't want to leave it all the way to the end for the second goal.
Favi, we are 3 likes away from 50. Smash that like button if you guys haven't already. Subscribe to the channel. Like I said, we're 30 away from 6,600. We're going to hit 10K by the end of this year. Favi's going to be back on the channel. He's going to probably be on here for the Concacaf Champions Cup final and many other times. So do us a favor, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Hit the little bell notification so you never miss a video. Share the channel with a friend. Let's grow this thing as much as we can. Favi, I came in tonight thinking that Miami was in trouble because, like we said, they give up that 1 goal, man, and they got to score 4 to come back and win this series, or this 2-leg series, which is tough for any team to score 4 goals unanswered. That's a tough task for any team in any league. But they played very concise tonight. Even when Vancouver had some chances, they weren't able to convert them. And I do think one of the reasons why that is because the travel is just brutal, man. Miami struggled in that game against Vancouver in the first leg because that was like their third game in 10 days or something like that, or maybe even 8 days. Third game in 8 days. And you would travel 3,000 miles. You got 37-year-old players on your team. That's the core of your team. You got 3 guys or 4 guys over 36 years old. So I think they were just tired, man. They were gassed from that travel. Now Vancouver, a lot of their guys did play on Saturday, which Miami rested their players. Vancouver had to travel 3,000 miles the opposite direction. They played a game Saturday. And I think that we're seeing this travel can weigh on you, man. I think that this definitely is having an impact on Vancouver in this game because they definitely look more flat. Even though they had some chances, they definitely look more flat tonight than they did in the last week's game on Thursday.
Yeah, and that can also be playing away in an away stadium too, right? Without your fans egging you on. I know Miami Stadium isn't the biggest of stadiums, but the announcers on Fox were saying that it gets pretty loud since everything is kind of in bleacher format, so people can really kick the seats and make it a really loud environment. So I don't think Chase Stadium is an easy environment to win in, even without the travel, especially with the humidity. You're in Vancouver, you're going from zero humidity basically to full humidity in South Beach, right? So it's interesting. Yeah, definitely. I mean, I thought Vancouver looks still pretty on the ball. Maybe not as crisp as they were last week, especially in the finishing, but I still think they look like a team in form. They look like a team that believes that they can win. I mean, take a look at Sebastian Berhalter when he got that yellow card and knowing that he can't play in the final. I mean, this team thinks they're going to win it. And they think they're going into Miami and they're stealing a victory from Miami. So it's interesting. It's interesting to see this team's not scared of Lionel Messi and friends, and it's refreshing to see.
Now, if this game were to end in regulation and go into extra time, how would you feel then?
No, I think Vancouver's going to win.
So if it goes to extra time, you think Vancouver still got it. So you think Vancouver's good no matter what?
Because I think Miami needs to close this before 90 minutes. I think if Vancouver takes this into extra time, Miami's gonna be completely flat and they're gonna be tired. This game's gonna be wide open by then. And if this is a wide open game, Vancouver's gonna beat them.
So you think Miami has to win regulation in order to win this match? So Miami's going to have to score 2 goals this half in order. And if they go up 3-2, do you think they're going to win?
Yeah.
Even if it's in the 70th minute, you still think they'll win, even if it's in the 70th minute?
Yeah, because then they'll put everybody, like, park the bus and put everybody behind, maybe add some defenders on the field if they haven't already. But yeah, I think if Miami scores an early goal in the second half, then maybe you see them start park the bus, and then you put Fafa on, or you bring on a guy who can counterattack for you. Then you take, in my opinion, you take Suarez off instantly if you score a goal quickly. I'm not having Suarez stay on that pitch for more than 20 minutes after I score a goal. That's for sure.
I think maybe you take him off now, man. I just don't think he has much left in the tank at this point. I think you bring a Bondo in in the second half.
Such a big moment, though. You can't bring an 18. See, this is exactly why Miami made a horrible choice, making Suarez your only striker. Really, you can't bring an 18-year-old in such a big moment, right? In that many minutes, in my opinion. So I would find a way to make Fafa your striker. I've seen him play multiple positions before. I mean, I'm just thinking you need to add some sort of speed. Allende has done nothing for this team, and it constantly looks like such a big flop in MLS. And I don't even. I mean, why not bring in that? This is another thing. Mascherano has been making bad choices, in my opinion. Fafa would have been a perfect matchup for this. And if you don't bring him in the second half, you got to bring him in at least in extra times, because you're going to need fresh legs. You're going to need a player that has played against
speed, man. Well, that speed's crazy, man.
Yeah.
Okay. So Blake asked, we got to get to this. So what is your prediction? What's your second half prediction?
I think Vancouver scores again, and then Vancouver scores in Miami, and I think it's going to be Miami needs 3 goals, and then you're going to see 2 goals come in, and the third goal is not going to come in. So it's going to be a 3-1 game, but Miami still loses.
My prediction was that was close right there. My prediction was that they were going to win tonight 2-1 Miami. So they were going to lose aggregate 3-2. And even like you said, even if they did score 3 goals, they're still going to lose because of the away goal that Vancouver has. But look, anything's possible, man. Miami was in a very bad spot against LAFC, and they were able to. It looks like Vancouver's pressing. Maybe they're going for it. LAFC had a really good chance to advance against Miami in the last round, and Miami were able to come back and win. So even when you think Miami's out, they prove that they just keep fighting. It's hard to doubt them, honestly, at this point. But Vancouver's on. They're honestly a team that's hard to doubt too, because they might be the best team in the league.
Yeah, personally, I haven't seen Mascherano prove himself as their coach yet, and this would be a great opportunity to get that finally. Just because I don't see him making the right decisions.
No, I don't either. I think that, someone had said that he's on fraud watch, and, there's a lot of managers on fraud watch this year, but I mean, I'd have to agree. He's on fraud watch. The team has really hit a rough patch, and I think what makes a good manager is how you get out of it. If they lose, I mean, they really, on paper, they really shouldn't have lost the series, because everybody was talking about how this is one of the best teams we've ever seen, including myself and MLS and history. And I don't really think it's about it's not necessarily that they did lose, it's how they lost. I mean, they got absolutely spanked in Vancouver, but we talked about the travel, and that's probably a factor. But this game will tell us what this team is made of, what Mascherano is made of, and what some of these players are made of, man. These guys are gonna have to step up. The Barca boys are gonna have to contribute. Messi's gonna have to do something in the second half. He's been MIA the last game and a half, in my opinion.
He hasn't scored in 3 games, so definitely has to be able to go ahead and show up. And he's had a chance already, and he totally missed it. He whiffed it, right? So just trying to bring up a stream to watch this game. Let me see here.
That's crazy they didn't call a foul there. Yeah, I mean, dude, goats do big things in big games, so we're gonna need to see him do something. And it's so funny, you mentioned about Abondo not being able to do something because he's young, right? You said that you don't want to rely on an 18-year-old. Well, for Barcelona today, the best player on the pitch was a 17-year-old.
Yeah, but
some guys he's not Lamine Yamal. I know. I'm just messing with you. But some people just have that in them, man. They just, even regardless of their age, they perform in big matches. And Abondo might be young, Favi, and like inexperienced, but I might take that over a guy who can't run or barely walk.
But I mean, Suarez did have an assist on the first goal. So
he did the first 30 minutes. He was good, but you could just tell that he was gassed afterwards.
Yeah, no, 100%. And that's why I wouldn't have him be playing more than 20 minutes this half, personally.
Oh, that was a good pass by Suarez. Ooh. That was a good pass from him to Alba. It looked like a handball there on Segovia. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see who can. There just needs to be someone in the final third who can finish these chances, man. It's just sad that Jordi Alba is the only one that can score on this team right now.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Now, Ayande was supposed to, when he first got signed, Favi, I thought he was going to be the backup striker for Miami. That's what they had him listed as. He was supposed to be a striker, but obviously he's playing more on the wing.
Right.
But if they could get him to play up top and then bring Fafa Pico maybe in the second, what would you think about that? What if they moved Ayande up top and had Pico on the wing?
They just need more speed in any way possible, personally, and I think like that would throw Vancouver off completely, adding more speed.
Yeah. Now, how do you feel about, regardless of who wins this, how do you feel about MLS's chances this year?
I don't know. Vancouver without Berhalter kind of scares me. I'm not gonna lie. Oh, there it is.
Oh, Brian White scores.
There it is.
There you go. There you go.
It's gonna look tough.
Brian White. They gotta score 3 goals now. You saw what Noah Allen just said right there. I think what you gotta do, Favi, is you have to you have to go attack heavy right now. You got to go attack heavy now. You got to start making subs and just throw the kitchen sink at them. You got to get 3 more goals now. Wow. You typing up a tweet?
Yeah, trying to say something.
Yeah. That might be the dagger, guys. That might be the dagger. Brian White, that away goal. And they have to score 3 goals now. Miami need 3 goals now to win this game, or to win this series. That's crazy. Wow. Mascherano is trash, Steven Perez says. 3 goals. 3 goals.
And look who it is. Falcone was on him again. I told you.
John Paul says this rule about the away goals meaning more is so stupid, making it a disadvantage playing at home for the second leg. I can't disagree with that. I would like to see them get rid of this because the UEFA got rid of that rule not too long ago. Uh-oh.
Here we go.
Uh-oh.
Get out of hand. Ooh.
Oh!
Oh, this is getting out of hand now.
Uh-oh.
This is getting out of hand.
Uh-oh.
Brian White.
Uh-oh. Not good.
Mascherano is on fraud watch for sure.
Miami is choking like a dog.
They need 5 goals.
They need 4 goals now.
4 goals now.
Wow.
I know. I'm watching over here.
Mascherano on fraud watch.
With that, I'm about to tweet. With Tata Martino look like
wow. Dude, this escalated quickly. I'll tell you what, the post game I'm going to do is going to be fire, though. When I drop my post game after this, but damn, dude, that's crazy. So let's see. It was a deflection, obviously. Let me see the Ashton Berhalter pass. Was that looked like a deflection? Was it as Vite scored it? But was it deflected off somebody or was it just a chip? Yep. It was off of Alba. I think was it off Alba or was it off Cello? That was off Alba. Wow. That's crazy, man. Dude, Vancouver is good. Vancouver is a good team. This is an embarrassing loss by Miami, dude. This is an embarrassing on aggregate being down 4-1 to Vancouver. And look, Vancouver is a good team. Like nothing to take away from, but just to get curb stomped at home is embarrassing.
Mascherano's never coached a club, correct?
No, he has not. Only the Argentine U20 team and the Olympic team.
Yeah, okay.
I tell you what, man, Miami have nothing to lose right now. I'm telling you, they need to get some guys off the pitch and just throw the kitchen sink at them. Get Pico on there, get Abondo on there, get Toto Alvarez in there for Maxi Falcone. I mean, you had nothing to lose. Oh, uh-oh. Uh-oh. That's a decent clearance by Cello. And now the viewership is going to pummel. I mean, the viewership in here has gone up. I mean, it was at 60, now it's at 80. I mean, I don't know about view. I mean, people are going to still see what happens. Obviously, Miami are not going to win at this point, but we'll see what happens. Not a good situation for Inter Miami, and we will definitely have some post-game thoughts after this. We will have some post-game thoughts after this.
I'm posting on Threads right now.
Oh, Favi.
All right, here we go. Kromoski's on. They got Rios. Oh, Daniel. Wow.
Who's all coming on? So Rios is so Brian White's getting a rest. Rios is coming on. Redondo's coming off. Who scored? Viti scored the second goal. Vite. Yeah. Miami is cooked. Yeah, they're in some deep shit right now for sure.
Here we go. There you go. Falcone's out. That should have came in a lot earlier.
Lujan's in. Kamaski's in. Oh, dude, they're definitely cooked. Where were these subs at the beginning of the second half?
I know.
That's crazy, man. That is crazy. I don't think why is Suarez still in there running like he runs like he's disabled. It's crazy. Man, I tell you what though, Favi, this is not a good indication of what's going to happen in the Club World Cup, man.
Personally, Inter Miami season is already a failure to me.
It is. No, this is a huge failure.
Losing to an MLS club in the semifinal when you had the easiest route to the final. You didn't even make the final and you have Lionel Messi. It's insane.
Yeah, you didn't have to play a single Liga MX team on the way here either.
Vancouver played how many? 3, right?
Two, and they beat Miami.
And they beat Miami.
Mm-hmm.
Insane run. Oh, we have Cruz Azul playing tomorrow.
Yeah.
But if Vancouver wins, do they host?
I have to check the table.
They won the game before.
Is it so? I think if they win this game, they will likely host the game. If they win this game,
they're winning 2-1.
So honestly, from an MLS, not an Inter Miami perspective, because that's out the window now. They're cooked. From an MLS perspective, if you want to see an MLS team win the Concacaf Champions Cup, you need Miami to lose this game on this game, like not just aggregate. They need to actually lose this game because it would give Vancouver 3 points. And I think that they would be.
They were the last place, but they were, I believe, 5 points behind.
Yeah, they were 5 points behind before the last 2 games, but it was so Cruz Azul and Tigres obviously tied, so it was a 1-1 point each. Vancouver got 3 points for winning, and they'll have 3 more. So I think that they will host.
Let me look this up.
You check on that and see?
Yeah.
I'll read some comments here. Let's see. Cool Whip says 2 Mexico, 1 Costa Rica, I think, talking about Vancouver's path. Bobby says, can Miami win MLS Cup with this current squad? Probably not.
Yeah, I mean, Vancouver is the best team at the moment, but you're going to have to go through Columbus. You're going to have to go through Charlotte. I mean, Charlotte's Cincinnati.
Orlando's not playing bad this year.
It's going to be tough.
Cool Up says it's hard for Vancouver to host. No way Vancouver can host. I think they can. I honestly think they can because they've won these 2 games. I think the last this is just going off my memory, and I could be wrong, guys. The last I checked, Miami had 9 points. The Liga MX teams had 8 points tied, and then Vancouver was at 6 points. This is before the semifinals was played. So Cruz Azul, Tigres, they drew, so they got 1 point each. They're both at 9. Miami lost, so they're at 9. Vancouver won, so they're at 9. If Vancouver win this game, they'll be at 12. So what you need to happen is you need the Liga MX teams to tie for Vancouver to host.
I'm trying to figure out.
Brian White is not a USMNT player. I mean, he is technically, but like, are you saying his quality is not good enough for to be a USMNT player? A lot of people would agree with you on that. Oh, God. RBC says Brian White got injured. I don't think he got injured. I think they're just resting him. I mean, he played this weekend and they're up 4 I mean, Miami has to score 4 goals to win. So I think they're just resting him so he can play this weekend. Cool Whip says Vancouver needs to win by 2+ in the other games.
Unless Vancouver keeps scoring goals and jeopardizes first place. So Vancouver needs more goals. There's Mexican journalists already reporting that Miami lost.
They did essentially, didn't they?
Yeah, I mean, I just think it's funny. Like already, like you have 30 minutes left.
Dude, this is crazy.
I'm trying to figure out where the final is going to be.
I do think. Well, I don't know how many goals Vancouver has scored. I don't know what the goal difference is, but I think that would be the tiebreaker. Someone did tweet about it a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, I was looking for it. Jose Armando, the reporter in Miami, tweeted about it. It was in Spanish though.
Hold on a second. Spin.
What are we at on likes?
Sorry, texting the pregnant wife here. We are at 58.
All right. Did a good job.
Not too bad. Not too bad. Especially with a game that is essentially over at this point, right? Let's see. We got I see a couple people here we haven't seen in a while. Jane says this is embarrassing. Michael says Messi and Suarez should retire. Messi definitely does not deserve a free pass, man. He has been so bad in this series. Uh-oh. Oh, too wide for Suarez. It's the first shot Suarez has had in like 3 games. Francisco, my bad, Francisco. Francisco says Concacaf has the discretion to choose a neutral stadium. Yeah, I think that might actually happen. They can choose a neutral site, Bobby. That's been talked about.
I saw someone saying LA in the comments of one post, and I was like, what? What's going on here?
Yeah, someone did say SoFi might be the spot. But it probably, if we're being honest, it probably won't be SoFi if Miami doesn't make it. Just to be honest. The Galactic Prophet says no, they shouldn't. Jaden says Miami would rather go for another Spanish speaker or try to pawn another superstar like Pogba or KDB. Jade says they should have gotten Neymar when they had the chance. Keyshawn says Chris Brady needs a USMNT call up. Yeah, I agree with that. Let's see. T-Max says our strikers reek right now. Brian White absolutely deserves more chances with the United States. I mean, he's probably your 4th option at best. I mean, I guess if you really want the depth, but he's probably not going to play. Cosmic Jojo, I haven't seen them in a while. Says Messi looks so uninterested in MLS soccer these past couple of days. I mean, he really does. I mean, he just doesn't look.
Ooh! Brian White left the match with right hamstring tightness.
Oh, so he is hurt.
From Hard Journalist. She's a great journalist on.
Yeah. I'm familiar with her. Yeah, she's good. That's crazy. So he is hurt. Good. Wow. Someone said that in the chat. So that's good. Good catch. Matthew says, "Who's y'all's NWSL team? Mine is Orlando Pride." Marta is still at it. I honestly don't watch NWSL, not because I don't like it, just because I'm already just
too much.
Too much. I mean, I've already got other sports and MLS, and I couldn't take on another league. I'd go mad. Tony says I think Drake Counter is a better goalie despite what happened last weekend. I think they're both bad. They really needed to address the goalkeeper's situation. They didn't. Bobby says, how are the only striker options at Miami a 38-year-old who can't run or an 18-year-old that's inexperienced? What do you think about that, Bobby?
I don't know, dude. I mean, Chris Henderson left, right? I mean, that's kind of what you expect when you lose a GM, right? You didn't want to pay the man. He went to Atlanta, not doing so good in Atlanta either. But man, this is an embarrassing loss for Miami.
I mean, this is really bad. This is like
what happened to Messi?
Oh, trust me. Abondo's in, by the way. Who's he in for? Is he in for Ayande?
How is Suarez still playing?
I don't know. Is Mascherano afraid to take him out?
I think Mascherano recently played, so he's like, well, if I can do it at 37, you can too.
That's what I'm saying. Like, is he just afraid to take him out, or like, he's delusional? Is he in denial about Suarez's capabilities at this point?
Oh wow, penalty, right? No. No.
I don't know. Maybe. I think they said that he clipped his heel. We got a lot of comments. A lot of people, someone said that is a penalty. Are they going to look at it? Let's look at this. Oh no. Oh.
No, they went for a corner.
Takioka's hurt right now. Let's see. TJ says Mickey's goal should have counted today. The Barcelona hand kept him onside. I'm not going to get into that. There will be no ill talk of Barcelona in this channel. We only talk bad about MLS teams in here. T-Max says, yeah, White isn't better than Balogun or Pepe, but Pepe is injured and other options for third striker are not better than White. I think Haji Wright would be a better third option, in my opinion.
I mean, you take the man in form, though. What are you talking about? Of course, you're putting Brian White above Haji Wright right now. What are you talking about?
I don't know if I would.
You just need goals.
How's Wright's not bad right now?
I don't know. Chris Wondolowski got some USMNT caps because he was a good MLS striker back then.
Hey, listen, man. I would definitely not say that out loud. I'd keep the Wando talk on the down low. Honestly,
Hey, dude,
I wouldn't be spouting that San Jose nonsense around here.
You can tell I'm biased a bit.
Keyshawn says, I think Chris Brady is way better than Calendar. Oh, it's not even close. Let's see. Baldwin says SoFi not at neutral for Vancouver. Probably not because of the Liga MX fans in LA, right? I mean, that's probably true.
Yeah, but Tigres, Cruz Azul will actually probably have a big kind of. Yeah, I guess they both have to agree on it too, right?
I don't know, honestly. I don't know if Concacaf just tells them, "Hey, you got to play here." Okay, come on, can they score here? Way too long on that. Should have shot that way earlier, Suarez.
I'm asking everybody on my Twitter: is this Inter Miami CF loss a bigger loss than last year's loss to Atlanta United, basically?
No, that's not as bad. The last year's loss was way worse because it was the first round and it was a 3-game series. I think last year was definitely worse.
But I mean, this is bigger, you know?
Uh-oh. Did he score? Oh my God. Dude, Suarez cannot buy a goal, bro.
Oh my God.
Dude, Suarez can't buy a goal. That's crazy. That is crazy. Favi, we're at 63 likes, man.
What's up? Welcome to the Vancouver win party right here.
This is the celebration of Vancouver here. We are hoping the best for Vancouver.
America's team lost, but that's okay.
Is it America's team?
I guess we're all Canada now.
I think America hates Miami in general. Like I think a lot of people hate Miami. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong though. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Galactic says F Vancouver.
What transfer out do you think Miami's regretting the most right now?
Go Tigres.
I would have to say Campana.
Nah, he hasn't done anything for New England, has he?
I mean, but he would have been a better option than Suarez at this point.
Yeah, but they couldn't afford. I don't think they could afford to keep them both. Which you didn't know at the time, right? Because Suarez is coming off 20 goals. You know what I think the biggest move you want to know what I think what the biggest mistake they made this year was?
What?
They didn't hire Xavi. Xavi would have been a way better hire because you know why? He knows he's actually done it at the first team level. He won the league with Barcelona, and I know that he got forced out, and obviously Barca's doing well without him. But I think that Xavi had the foresight, would be brave enough to sit players that needed to be sit. Like Suarez does not need to be starting in MLS anymore. He's not good enough. I think Xavi would do it.
All right. Are we talking? Are we starting to talk about this? Is this an okay topic to bring up? Let me know, chat. Has Messi's tenure in MLS been a failure so far in terms of soccer on the field?
What do you think?
I think so. I mean, you're still in the same spot as an MLS team. No MLS team has really, won a CONCACAF in how long? There's still 3
years.
Right? So it's just, I don't know. They didn't win a CONCACAF. I think that's the biggest deal if you're Miami, right? You want to have trophies in your cabinet. And so far, they've been the
Berhalter.
They've been the bridesmaid. Oh.
Berhalter, 5-1.
Game's over. This game's over.
Yep. They need 5 goals now to win this. But Favi, that put them over enough to host the game?
I think so.
I'm tweeting right now. Sebastian is the only good Berhalter.
This is a Vancouver Whitecaps party in Miami tonight.
Wow. Mascherano is on fraud watch, dude. Dude, I'm telling you guys, listen, mark this down. Within an hour of this game ending, I will be coming out with a recap of this game, and we will be talking about Miami's choke job, and we will be talking about Messi being bad, and we are going to be talking about Javier Mascherano being the wrong hire for this team. And I thought he was good at first, but we obviously look, it's not about how you coach when things are going good. It's about how you coach when things are going bad. And he has proven that he cannot steer the ship when things are bad with this team. They have looked terrible the last 3 games. They lost to Vancouver at Vancouver. They lost to FC Dallas when they were up 3-1. They gave up 3 goals, conceded 3 goals unanswered, lost to Dallas 4-3. And then they lost to Vancouver at home. They got the doors. They are losing worse to Vancouver at home than they did on the road. And Vancouver had to travel over 3,000 miles to get to this game. It is 5-1 on aggregate in this game right now. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. And Fabi, we got almost 100 people in here now, bro.
Hey guys, welcome. Make sure you like it. Sorry, I'm tweeting right now. I'm going.
No, you're good. No, you're good. You're good. You're good. You're good.
When's the final? That's what I'm trying to find out.
June 1st, I think.
Oh, we got time.
Yeah, it's like a month away. I think it's June 1st.
Ryan Gauld can possibly.
Yeah, he'll be back by then. When I had the Michael McCall on there talking Vancouver Whitecaps on this episode I did a couple days ago, he said that Ryan Gauld would probably be back in the next 2 to 3 weeks, and that was a week ago. Jay Nelson. Ooh. Hey, here's another question though, Favi. I have for you. Noah Allen had been playing really good in this year, looking really good at center back. Has that finally ended?
Yeah.
Has he finally came back down to earth and he's looking like the Noah Allen we're used to?
You know, it's funny they brought in Mascherano to be a defensive mastermind, and this defense looks horrible.
Ooh. Let's see. I'm trying to get some confirmation on the final is just to be sure. Okay, yeah, it is June 1st.
Yeah, man, this is crazy.
Wow. Man, I cannot believe. Baldwin says that Noah Allen is too short for center back. I mean, you know, Carlos Puyol was only 5'10". I agree. No, he's not that good, obviously, but you know, Allende, goddamn, what a hit! Yeah, right. Tony says Tata Martino was a better coach. To be honest, this team was more disciplined. I think that. I don't know. I just think Mascherano just might be too loose. I think he's too friendly with these guys.
Yeah, I agree.
I think he's too friendly. I mean, these are his buddies he played with, right? These are the guys he played with.
Is this Messi's worst loss in MLS?
Cannavaro was a short but a beast. Is this his worst shot? Is this his worst loss in MLS?
Yeah.
Probably. I mean, technically
not final, right?
Technically not MLS, but I mean, against an MLS, I know since it's his worst loss as a Miami player. Yes. Yes, it is.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. And here's the thing. What is Miami going to do? This is embarrassing. I mean, they're going to have to have some reinforcements they're going to have some reinforcements this summer, man, or they're in trouble. I mean, they're going to make the playoffs, obviously, but they're not going to win anything.
Right.
Pulso says Pulso Sports. Nico says there is no way you guys are this surprised. The collective work by Vancouver was always going to outperform individual play. I mean, I'm not surprised. We know Vancouver's a good team, but Miami has assembled or made a lot of offseason changes to make this team stronger than it was in 2024, which the team won the Supporters Shield, trying to reinforce their back line, trying to build better depth, and they just got absolutely embarrassed. I think a lot of people would be surprised that Vancouver beat Miami 5-1 on aggregate. I do think a lot of people would be surprised by that. I'm not saying it's a surprise that Vancouver won, but I think a lot of people are surprised they won 5-1.
Yeah, no, I mean, we all came in here expecting Vancouver to win. I mean, both me and you both had that expected, but to win 5-1 on aggregate against what people would, say is the GOAT is kind of crazy, in my opinion.
Yeah, Simply Dope says, losing series to Atlanta is worse. Now, Mr. says Miami needs to get younger. This is another thing. Yannick Bright's coming in. What looks like Noah Allen might be a little hobbled there.
Well, he didn't take anybody's hand.
Well, here's the thing too, Fabi. You got a DP spot open, right? They have a DP spot this summer. Don't sign Kevin De Bruyne. Don't sign him. You don't need more star power. You got the biggest star in the world. People are going to watch you no matter what. Get someone young who can actually help the team perform. Get a good young player who can actually help your team out and get this team a little. Kevin De Bruyne would be a disaster signing for this team. That's the last thing they need. They don't need another 33, 34-year-old player to put in this old ass team. They need to get someone who's about 25 or 26 in their prime.
Right.
And they honestly, I mean, I think they should try to get a striker. I think they should use. I honestly think their biggest need right now is not the midfield. It's not. I mean, the backline is definitely an issue. We both know that, but they can solve that with other, Tam, Gam, whatever. I think their biggest issue right now, Favi, and let me know what you think about this. They need a striker who's seasoned. Abando's too young. Suarez is too old. They need a guy about 25, 26, and we know that's the big position that costs the most money. You're going to need a DP spot for that. They need to move off of Toto Alvarez if he's not going to start, because he's a U22, and that's a very important position. If he's not going to start, they need to bring someone else in who will start.
Personally, I think, if they're not going to start Toto Alvarez, maybe try to trade him for a striker within the league, right? Try to get some. I mean, trade something, right? It's not working. Trade Busquets if you could get something back for him, right? Get something for these guys who aren't getting the job done. Unfortunately, they're all friends though, so it's hard to trade your friends, right? Or it's hard to, keep Messi happy and win titles. And I think that's what they really have to look into.
Well, and there was a trade possibility last year of them sending Toto Alvarez to Cincinnati for Miles Robinson, which would have been an interesting trade to see what would happen if that had culminated. But Toto Alvarez, U22, cost $8 million. He's not even playing. That's a total waste of a spot. Total waste of a spot. So
they got rid of Farias, right? Instead of Aviles.
Yeah. They brought in.
They use Farias right now.
Well, they also got Baltasar Rodriguez, who they say is more talented than Facundo Frias, but he's not playing yet. There's a lot of these people that aren't playing. Like Abando just made his debut this past weekend, right? Baltasar Rodriguez is a young winger that has a lot of talent, but he's not playing yet.
Right.
Oh, Messi just wide. So they desperately need if they had. Now listen, you like Leo Campana. I don't dislike Leo Campana. I think he's fine, right? No issues with Leo Campana. But let's think a little bigger than that. Let's think of a striker that is quality. Like I'm talking like Cucho Hernandez level. Like Leo Campana is not Cucho Hernandez. Imagine if they bought a striker that was like Cucho Hernandez level striker in that age, 24, 25 years old, and put him up top with this team, how much of a difference that would make.
Well, how much would a Cucho Hernandez striker cost you? Right? We're talking like
probably 10, 15 million. Do they have that? No. Probably 10 or 15. I mean, he only sold for 13 million to Real Betis.
Yeah. I mean,
Emmanuel Latilat was an overpay from hell, dude. And we're not going to get into that. I'm not trying to.
Right? Like a Denki price tag?
Denki was 17 million, but maybe someone a little more seasoned than him. Denki's good. I'm a huge Denki guy, but he's 23 years old. He was a little bit more unproven. I mean, he had a good year in Belgium, but I'm talking about a player that only Miami could get because the appeal. I'm talking about a guy who would probably cost $15 and $20 million, Favi, and wouldn't come to MLS, but because it's Miami, they would consider it. Like, okay, you know what? Yeah, I mean, I'd go to Miami.
Honestly, I think that might be out the door already. I think that new car in Miami is not there anymore. I think
like the new car smells wore off, you think?
Yeah, personally, I think that Miami is not winning. They're not looking like the prime jewel or the prize jewel that MLS thought they would look like. And I don't think you're going to get anybody that wants to play with Messi that's not Argentinian. So like, take a look at Argentinian players that possibly could come that are in that age gap. Tati Castellanos is the only one that really comes to mind.
Tati Castellanos. Yeah, I talked to my friend who's a Lazio fan, and I don't think they would sell him, but that is a great shout. That would be a great signing for them. Tati Castellanos. That'd be a really good signing.
That would be someone you're asking for, basically, right? A proven MLS guy in that age range, can score, Argentinian, so he might want to come play with Messi. So it's interesting.
Yeah, sorry, I'm sending you a text. I got a thumbnail idea.
No worries.
Man, here we are, almost 2 hours in, 81 minutes. Miami's just getting the belt right now,
How many people
right?
do we have on stream?
87.
All right. Welcome, guys. Welcome to the Vancouver Whitecaps party.
You know, we gained like 6 subs, man. We need to gain some more subs. I know all of you guys aren't subbed, so make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. We're going to hit 10,000 before the end of this year. And 10,000 for an MLS channel seems almost unthinkable, but we have just had so much momentum, man. People love this league, even though there's criticisms about this league, and I'll be the first to talk about them. I've been talking about them. I'm an honest talking
Miami
head,
fans
right?
are leaving the
Yeah,
stadium.
they are leaving. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already, is what I was trying to say. And like this video and hit the little bell notification. But yes, Fabi, they are leaving. Solana texted me. He said he was supposed to hop on here. And he said, this place is rocking right now. And I said, okay, I sent you an invite on X because he was going to hop on here and show us what was going on at the game. And then he says, bro, it was hectic. It was so hectic here. It was. He's talking about in the past tense. So I think after the second goal, he said, all right, man, I'm out. I'm beating the traffic. I'm going home. I'm leaving here. A lot of people are shitting on Miami, which is funny. Yeah, I'm telling you, man, I don't think you said this is America's team. I think a lot of people hate Miami.
Well, America's team, that it was the last American team, right?
Well, that's true. That's true. But people don't like Miami outside of Miami.
Yeah. No, I can see that. I can see that. People that follow MLS originally, definitely, I could see that.
Now, here's an interesting question. Well, first of all, why the hell is Suarez still in the pitch?
Yeah, what's going on, dude?
What the hell is going, dude? That is insane. They're just trying, dude. I think they're hoping that he does get injured. Like, hey, if we play him enough, maybe he just gets injured. We can have him sit out just because he won't be able to play in general. But first of all, that's my one question. Second of all,
I mean, he got a ball. He got a ball for them though.
Second of all, sorry, I lost my train of thought for a second.
Could you?
That's what I was gonna ask you. Is Miami the most hated team in MLS history?
Yeah, I could see that.
I think they are.
I could see that.
I mean, I can't think of another team that the league hates. I mean, I guess maybe the Galaxy when they were really good, but I mean, like, you know, when they were winning 3 out of 4 MLS Cups. But I think Miami definitely might be this Miami team might be the most hated team in the history of the league.
But also loved by casuals. So it's real hot and cold, that's for sure.
Ian says Poch needs to give Sebastian a call up for the Gold Cup. I mean, Sebastian Berhalter has been playing really good. I can't lie. He's been playing real good. Put all the Berhalter bias aside and all the hate that Berhalter gets.
Sebastian Berhalter has been the best Latino on the pitch today.
Been the best what?
Latino on the pitch today.
Is he Latino?
Yeah, his mom's Puerto Rican.
Oh, is she?
Yeah.
I honestly did not know that. I honestly did not know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know what Berhalter's game was. Talking about Greg. But yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I guess him and Brian White have been the 2 best players on the pitch, right?
Yeah.
Man, this is crazy. Wow, dude, okay. So this is a prominent Miami account. Okay, you ready for this? He says, if if David Beckham and Jorge Mas don't sack Mascherano after this game, it's hard to believe they're serious about building this club. Tata Martino was bad, but somehow Mascherano managing to outdo him.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Personally, I thought Tata was okay for this team, but now I'm just shocked.
No, I mean, he was good for this team, but he just wasn't. That first round exit just killed him, man. It just ruined his chances of staying. But I'll say this: I said this earlier. They should have hired Xavi. They should have hired Xavi, and I think that would have been a way better hire. They would have respected him just as much, if not more, than what they respect Javier Mascherano, and he's a better coach. Do you really believe that Mascherano would ever have been able to win La Liga with Barcelona?
No,
I don't think he would be. Someone just asked, will Messi renew a contract with these results? He looks more bored every day. He just looks very uninterested in what's going on.
Right. No, I don't
He
think
just looks bad, dude. Messi looks bad. God, he looks so bad, man. We'll I mean, can they really? This sounds bad because obviously he has flashes. Like when he plays well, he's still one of the best players in the world. But like, does he have the energy level to play like that consistently at this age?
I also think they play a lot of minutes. Tata would always have him coming out at the 60th, 70th minute. They play 90 every game now.
See what happens here. Terrible pass by David Martinez. Kenny says that Miami and Chivas USA, aka LAFC, are the most plastic fans ever. Man, Bobby, this is embarrassing, man. I'm genuinely curious. Do you think that they might fire Javier Mascherano after this?
I don't know. I really don't know.
This isn't like a close loss. This is a embarrassing loss, man.
Definitely.
Would you fire him?
Yeah, 100%.
You'd fire him after this?
Yep.
Really?
Yeah. To me, this is the biggest loss of the season.
Yeah, but you know what's crazy is that American soccer culture isn't used to that kind of reaction. So I think that they if I tweet right now, Javier Mascherano should be fired. People are like, oh my God, you're so dramatic. You can't fire him after this. It's only 2 games. But like,
you know what? Since they have the Club World Cup coming up, I wouldn't.
But what if you get Xavi in here before then?
Yeah,
you have almost 2 months before that starts. It's a month and a half till that starts.
If you can try.
What do you have to lose?
Right.
I mean, dude, listen, if Miami don't win a single trophy with Messi at the club, it's a total failure.
No, 100%.
Oh, man. Well, you know what? I actually feel the good news is, because, it's obviously neutral here. The good news is that Vancouver is in a very good spot to win this. Is in a very good spot to win the Concacaf Champions Cup as long as it's not in Mexico. But even if it's in Mexico, maybe they still have a chance. But Vancouver's in a very good spot. Vancouver's in a very, very good spot. Friend of the show, Eli Lesser, he says,
go ahead.
I was going to say, Eli, thank you for the super chat. He says, this is insane. Much love to you both. Eli, I would love to hear what you think about this, man. I would love to hear what you think about this. I'll text you after this game. Thank you for the super chat, by the way.
I have a real funny tweet about to come out. This is kind of wild.
Of what now?
I'm gonna post this tweet and I'll get right back to you guys.
Go check out Eli Lester's channel. He's doing live streams and he's the short goat. Shorts isn't like, short videos, not because his height. I don't know how tall he is. The Galactic Prophet, they need a coach that is defensive focused. Is the game over already? I guess they called it. No extra time. Wow. Inter Miami lose 5-1 on aggregate. Wow. Fabi, initial thoughts, and then I'm gonna end the stream. I gotta go make a video, and I gotta go get a pregnant wife some food.
Yeah, embarrassing. 100% embarrassing.
So you're firing him?
Yeah, I am. This is it. This is over. We're talking about if Messi's tenure was a failure. Like, you have to fire him.
I'm just making a tweet real quick.
Me too. Sorry, guys.
No, you're good. Guys, I appreciate you for sticking around while this is going on. This is crazy stuff. Congrats on the pregnancy. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. Hopefully they're a soccer fan. Hopefully not a sad soccer fan like me. Let's see.
Well, do me a favor and repost this.
Okay, yeah, send it to me.
Kind of wild. Sebastian Berhalter's first post on his Instagram of all time is a picture with Cristiano Ronaldo.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn, dude. Levels to this stuff. So he's not a Messi fan.
Definitely not.
Wow. Well, Fabi, listen, I appreciate you for hopping on. Guys, I appreciate you for joining us for the stream. Inter Miami absolutely get the belt, lose to Vancouver 5-1. Vancouver will advance and play in the Concacaf Champions Cup in 2025. They will take on either Tigres or Cruz Azul. We will find out the winner of that match tomorrow.
We'll find out where it's played.
And we will find out where it's played very shortly. It will be in a month, June 1st, and we will do a live watch along for that match as well. Hopefully Vancouver wins it. Appreciate all of you for tuning in. Make sure you like the stream down below. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Go check out Favi on Twitter at Fabian Rankel. And I think that's the same as his Instagram. In Threads, if you're still on that. I'm not, but if you are, go check it out. And there will be a post-game video within the next hour about this game. Need to collect my thoughts, think about what I saw. So be on the lookout for that video in the next hour. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Hope you guys have a great night. Until next time, I will see you all soon.